Welcome to the Horror Hour.
I see dead people.
We all go a little mad sometimes. Get you.
You are going to die. Here's Johnny. It's all for you. Understand him, you maniac!
Hello and welcome back to the Horror Hour, the place where we discuss, debate, and disagree on all things horror. I'm one of your hosts, George, and today I'm joined by my fellow co-host, Yutaka.
Hello.
And today we thought we'd give you a double feature, double review on two Shudder originals that are new to the platform. So we're going to be doing a little half and half for you today, two films that we've both watched, and we're going to give you a little review, what we think, what we think you might like about it, what we liked about it. And maybe you can go and check it out if you like, because obviously Shudder is full of amazing stuff and there's so much new content all the time. We wanted to drop a couple in for you in case you are always looking for something, because it's always spooky season, even in the summertime. So, I mean, oh, go on.
Oh, I was just saying, and also these had really good festival runs too, both of these.
Because you saw this, but you've seen both of these at festivals.
Influencer was actually all the way back at Brooklyn Horror Fest.
Really?
When I actually
Damn.
met David and Steve. Yeah. So both these films have been making the horror festivals and doing really good. So I wanted to throw that out there that yes, they're Shudder originals, but they did really good on the festival circuit.
On the festival circuit. See, guys, you've got to, if you want to be ahead of the game, get looking at those festivals, because like you said, that was like last year.
It was.
So, you know, it's always good to keep in touch, and also just to support those festivals as well, because, you know, it's what keeps the horror and indie community going. So speaking of summer, because we're in summer right now, I mean, let's start with Influencer, which is in the height of Thailand. So for those of you who don't know about this film, this movie follows a young woman who, while struggling on a solo backtripping trip in Thailand, the social media influencer Madison meets a young lady called CW, mysterious, and begins to travel with her at ease and shows her more about the areas that she's from, taking her through Thailand and things. But as their journeys continue, Madison seems to think, something's not quite right about this lady. And there's a darker turn that pursues with this film. So I saw this film. It's funny. So Yutaka, I obviously completely forgot about it because you think Yutaka's Miss Deborah. I didn't know. Yutaka was like, George, I told you about this film ages ago. I was like, did you?
Sounds like we had screeners too.
So George is naughty. But I saw on Tuesday, well, it doesn't matter when you put, but I saw a few days ago, Dead Meat James had tweeted about it, and I was like, oh, this seems interesting. He was like, you should check this out, new on Shudder. So I thought, okay, and I was like, got nothing to watch tonight, so I chucked it on. Hour and a half, we love to see it. And I was like, it's very much my vibe, because for those of you who don't know, I do work in social media outside of the Horror Hour for my job. So I was like, oh, okay, so I deal with influencers a lot. So I was like, let's see how this is going. And I have to say, I really enjoyed this film. For me, it didn't take itself too seriously, which is what I really liked about it. It was a fun, as I say, hour and a half of just craziness, and I really enjoyed some of the commentary that it had on social media and how it can change people when it comes to, you know, receiving a bigger audience or monetization and things like that. So I really enjoyed it. But Yutaka, I hear that you may have some things to say about this film.
Don't you throw me under the bus like that. Don't you dare.
Yutaka, what were your thoughts?
Okay, so I did enjoy it overall. There were just some, I would say there were little parts that maybe lagged for me. A couple things I want to call out. One, it is stunning. It's beautiful. It is a really gorgeous film. I'm guessing it probably filmed during the height of the... Yeah. Okay, because it was pretty much non-existent in terms of background, like, folks. But I kind of will say that added to the creepy factor. Like, here she is doing all these posts and everything, talking about, and you're like, like, it was unsettling in a good way. So, but I enjoyed the characters. I do think they really interacted well. I can't remember main person's motive. So if I blanked on that, you're going to have to remind me. Not in here. I don't want to spoil it, obviously. But, and so that's why there were just parts to where I was like, I just watched the film. Like, I kind of don't remember certain things. So And that's not part of like, oh, I'm gonna check your batteries kind of thing. It's just certain things just weren't memorable. But yeah, I will agree. I loved the commentary. Like where the audience will see one thing, but as soon as that camera's off, it's a whole nother vibe.
Yeah.
And I loved that.
I think that was well, and I think the great cast as well. I mean, you've got Emily Tennant who plays Madison, and then you have Cassandra No, who I've this is the first thing I'd seen, and she'd done a lot of modeling before, but not much television and film work.
Music video, wasn't she?
Yeah, and I was like, that's so interesting. And of course, Sarah Canning as well, who we love. And this is the director of this, Curtis David Harder, was actually a producer on Superhost, which Sarah starred in, and in this film, and in this film, Brandon is the producer. Brandon Christensen is the producer of this film. So,
we love a full circle moment.
Because I said to Sarah in my interview, I said, so do we think that Claire and Jessica ever met at an influencer convention? And Curtis did agree that it is in the same universe as Superhost. So, I said, let's have this influencer Superhost, social media universe with social media horror movies.
Could you imagine?
But that's what I really liked the cast in it. I thought each of them, like you say, I thought Emily did a good job showing who plays Madison, like where you see the hi guys to when she kind of drops behind, nothing negative, but she just kind of becomes like us all, it goes to show that
the toll it takes on somebody, because it can be a lot.
Constantly, like she's hitting that replay button and doing and you're like, it's a lot. So I really enjoyed all of the cast in it. Rory Saper was really good as Ryan, because I said to him, I was like, your character really annoyed me for a lot of the film. And I was like, so well done.
So yeah, right.
I was like, well done. And I was like, but what I will say is that there's a lot of characters that by the end of the film and after you go through it, I did have some change of heart. I think that's good writing, where I was like, okay, so yeah, I feel, seeing their journeys, you kind of see a bit more of them as they open up. So I enjoyed it. As I say, it's only an hour and a half, so it's really short and sweet. And if anything, you can go for the beautiful views, because as Yutaka said, it's stunning, the islands and that.
Sorry to interrupt. And I'm not going to spoil, but there is a certain death that it is so beautiful and picturesque how they did it.
Yeah.
I love that, because I've seen that in another film earlier this year, and it's just like it takes a lot to pull it off, but it looks so, I'm like, okay, go for it. Make it happen. It was good.
Yeah. It is really good. So I think, I would say definitely check it out if you're looking for something a little bit different and you kind of like those sort of movies that poke fun or open up about the world that we live in now, which is obviously very social media heavy. I would definitely say it's come out at the right time, because I feel like we're at a new social media renaissance where things went from Instagram and Facebook and YouTube was dulled for a bit, and now we're onto this TikTok and a whole other crazy world. So I would definitely think it's of the time, and yeah, I think it's one to watch. So that's why we thought, hey, why not check it out? Here's a little review for you.
I would agree. It's on Shudder, like you said, 90 minutes, and it is a good time.
Yeah. So there you go. That was our little influencer review there. But of course, we did say it was a two-parter. So Yutaka, what's our next one?
I know, look, honestly, this could be a good double feature if you think about it.
I think so.
So the next film I got to see, and I was, oh my God, blown away. It's Brooklyn 45. It's written and directed by, I'm gonna butcher his name, Ted Geoghegan, I think. Oh, sorry if I did. This played at South by Southwest, same thing, Overlook, all the festivals as well. I think it was even at Tribeca. Anyways, so what it is, it's about 5 military veterans, best friends since childhood, gathered together to support their troubled host, and the metaphoric ghosts of their past become all too literal. And I honestly figured, George would love this, because they do a seance, and you know how I feel about seances. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But, one of the things that I really enjoyed about this, for me, that I just thought, kind of took me away, is this was like a horror play.
Yes, absolutely.
And I loved that aspect. So you have one initial setting, and this is very dialogue heavy, but what's so great about it is Ted, like the way he wrote it, like the tension he just builds throughout the film. Like I could feel my heart palpitating. And at one point I kind of teared up. And two, he had my jaw like hit the floor because I was like, oh damn. And one little fact, because it's Pride Month, I do like that we had a gay character in here. And it's not that he struggled with his sexuality, he was all about it. And I love that. And he was a daddy too. Hey, Queen. But those are my first thoughts. George.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it because I didn't go into this. Yutaka was like, hey, let's do a double thing. And I was like, okay, we'll check out this Brooklyn 45. So, and it was funny because as soon as you mentioned it, when I turned on Shudder, it was on the banner straight away. So I was like, okay, let's check it out. And I didn't know what to expect because I didn't even read anything. I was like, let's just go into it. And I have to say, I was really pleasantly surprised because I thought, I mean, it's very different to Influence, and it's so, like you say, it felt like a play to me. I felt like I was watching like an Agatha Christie or something. There is that sort of like mystery that surrounds it all. And I think just the setting as well, the setting, the costumes, and the set itself really just kind of has a comforting or sort of like homely quality to it, where you feel, you're obviously terrified, confused, and like, what is going on? But there's something that draws you in and keeps you like in this room with these people. And the cast is absolutely amazing. I mean, I love Anna Ramsey. She was great in Taking of Deborah Logan. She's been in so much, but she was great in that. So it was great to see her sort of in this beautiful sort of 40s look with the red lips and the hair and and they all play such interesting different characters that when they play off one another, it really does feel like it's just such an electricity and the tension, like Tag says, really throughout it. I had until the very end, I had no idea where we were going to go. Like
exactly. And that ending was like, my jaw dropped. But like one of the great things though too is this is also kind of a bit of a commentary if you think about it, because this was right after the war was over and there was still so much hatred out there and so much accusations, and we kind of see that to this day, after the pandemic, hatred towards Asians. I mean, it's a constant cycle, Black Lives Matter, like there's just so many different things that you can relate to what you're seeing on screen. And one of the things that I also took away is that, sometimes good people can do bad things. It doesn't necessarily make them a bad person. If that kind of makes sense, No. And so you get to really learn about their stories and why they're all there. It's very fascinating. But I really enjoyed it. I mean, again, yes, it is a little bit different from Influencer, whereas Influencer is more a little bit faster paced, if you would look at it that way, a little grander scale, whereas this is more, like I said, it's like a horror play, and if that interests you, you're really gonna have a good time with this. Because I didn't know that's what it was going to be, but man, was I just so pleasantly surprised. And I fell in love with this film. It was like, it's one of my favorites this year.
Yeah, I would agree. I really enjoyed it. And I think, as I say, because of the comfort and quality, this will be, I mean, obviously check it out now, absolutely. But I definitely would like rewatch this during like the colder months, just because of like it's set during winter anyway.
It is,
and I just think
like during winter.
It's got lovely like warm tones that it kind of exudes. So it does. I think this could like easily be like a new comfort film for me to like stick on and kind of I know like some of the matter that's talking about is
like, oh, okay. But to be fair, you have a very good point though, that there's so many good themes and you just care for some of these characters so much. I could easily rewatch this. I mean, I have, but I don't know if I would say it's comforting, because it definitely sets my blood pressure up because the anxiety it gives me.
Yes.
But I really did. I really enjoyed. Everybody had a good standout moment too. That's what I really enjoyed about this.
Oh yeah, there was no character that I felt like sort of drifted into the background. Like I could remember each and every person and their personalities and sort of their feelings about what was going on, and you could see the changes in their characters as the film went on. So I think that just goes to great acting, great writing, and obviously directing as well. Like it's definitely one to watch if you're looking for something a little bit different, because it will. But make sure you've got, as Yutaka said, take a couple of deep breaths, because you will be throughout it. You're like, I don't know, like what's going to happen. So it's, but fantastic. Both. I just thought
They're
were
banger. Like these are two banger films. I mean, Shudder like picked up some really good films, and if you have Shudder, like you all know, we're a shill for Shudder, but
Mhm.
I can say I saw these before these were picked up, and I was just blown away. Hence why I was like, George, you need to watch this. I figure you're gonna like this, George. George, you need to watch this. And he's like, hey, Utaka, did you hear about influence? I'm like, cute, George, real cute, real cute. But honestly, yeah, these are two really good films to watch. If you want a double feature, definitely one will pick your moods up, one's probably gonna bring your mood down. So maybe flip that,
Flip it
maybe
round,
watch the one first and watch the other.
But I'll ask then, Utaka, just before we go, what would you rate both of these films then?
Oh, well, I've already been very honest about my love for Brooklyn 45, and I gave that a 5 out of 5. I could not tear my eyes off the screen. Everything in terms, like when I read some of the production notes, like those are actual like World War II photographs, soldier, like there's a lot that they put up into building that set. And it was just hearing all about it and just again watching it multiple times. It is. And Influencer, I would give that a solid I'd give it a 4. Yeah, because Influencer is a completely different vibe. It's beautiful but still haunting because it's so empty, which I love. And I do love that culture, like that commentary on influencer culture.
No, I probably would give them, for me, they're both out of 4. Influencer, because I say I really did enjoy it, but like you said, there was some aspects of it that I could have had a little bit more with, or things that I would have liked a bit more explanation to. So for that's I mean, it takes a lot for me to have a 5 out of 5 film in general, because I'm just and then also
He's
Brooklyn.
a stickler.
Yeah, Brooklyn 45 4 again. My only little thing about that was there was a little bit for me personally, although it was just in the middle. I was kind of like, okay, there was parts where I was like, we can kind of speed this up a little bit, but other than that, I would definitely, they're so rewatchable for both of them, so I would definitely say you need to check them out on Shudder while you can.
Agreed.
And that's us, guys. We hope that you do take some of our thoughts and
jazz hands. I'm so sorry.
Jazz hands. So he's in the Brooklyn mood for 1940s dance.
Sorry.
So yeah, please, if you would like to, do go and check out these films. As we said, they are both available now on Shudder. Go and support them. Go and support Shudder. Also, make sure that you do go and, if you're really into that sort of thing, go and check out the directors, the writers, and everyone, and get behind them as well. See what other project they're doing, because like Utaka said, a lot of their projects and things like this start at the festivals. So if you're in the know with them, you will get so much more info about what's coming up. And also, all the horror directors and writers are so like besties of each other that they retweet other people's stuff, so you get to learn so much more about just horror in general.
And you might even get to meet them at festivals. That's what's really cool. So
they're all there. So yes, as always, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please do not forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. If you'd like to see more from us, we have our Patreon, links in the description below. You can get early access, you get access to our after hours, you get also live streams and watch-alongs. Everything just starts from $1 for the lowest tier. Or if not, you can always follow us on Twitter and Instagram. We are at the Horror Hour TV, where also, we'll see, you might get a bit more information on these, because retweet and everything like that, you'll see maybe some stuff that's coming up in the future for future Shudder things, and also for all of the festivals as well. But that just leaves me to say thank you so much. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and we will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
You have been listening to the Horror Hour. See you next time.